Welcome Home, a podcast for veterans about veterans by veterans, is a project of Willing Warriors and the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run.
Good morning. I'm your host, Larry Zilliox, Director of Culinary Services here at the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run. And this week we have a very special guest with us. Debbie Borza is a special advisor, we'll call her, to the 957 Project Student Leadership Challenge, which is a summer camp, day camp for teenagers that we host with the 957 Project here at the Warrior Retreat every year, and we're excited to have them back this year. We have the students here right now, and Debbie has come in from California to talk to the students and to lend a sort of different perspective to their course that they're taking. We'll talk about that. But Debbie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the time. Appreciate the audience.
So I guess we should start by talking a little bit about what the 957 Project is and what the Student Leadership Challenge is each year. So if you would, let's start with what the 957 Project is.
Well, for me, the 957 Project is an opportunity for veterans to share their stories about military life during and after they may leave the military. And they share these stories with school students, high school students, sometimes middle school, even on a college level, university level. It's an opportunity for them to enlighten and give knowledge to and recognize their service to our country.
And this is primarily in the context of 9/11?
Yes.
And the events that took place on 9/11. And I know through the organization uses a protocol or a training program called CREST. The organization itself has that training program, that curriculum for kids. But this week we have the Summer Leadership Challenge, which is a little bit different. And what is the main purpose of that program within the 957 Project?
The Leadership Challenge for these high school students is an opportunity for them to take a look at their leadership. What could their leadership be? So we have speakers come in and talk to them. The speakers talk about their personal relationship to leadership, things that they have done in a leadership position throughout their lives. My purpose, I come in and talk about leadership from the perspective of the passengers and crew on United Flight 93, the plane that crashed outside of Shanksville, Pennsylvania on September the 11th, 2001. And primarily about my 20-year-old daughter who died on that plane. And the beauty of being able to talk about my daughter, who was 20, to these high school students is that there's a level of relationship. You know, she was young enough to be able to leave to me, and I give to them, in her own words, things regarding leadership, community service, her relationships with her teachers, her family, her friends, and the ways that she made a difference by letters that were then sent to me by faculty, staff, her girlfriends, on the type of difference that Diora made in their lives. And those are the things that I personally share with the students here at the Leadership Retreat, because the challenge that we ask these students to take on is some kind of community service project in their area where they see a need. How do they feel they can directly, indirectly participate or give back to their community in some way? And, we challenge them to take a look. It's that time of their lives where they're moving from, thinking about themselves, to noticing now that there are people out there that support them, love them, need them, to do something in their community. And it's a perfect time for them to start to move outside of themselves.
And do you think they relate because she was very close to their age?
I think, yes, it's made it easier for me to talk to them because
Right.
I can come from a perspective of someone, yes, one of their peers,
Right. Yeah.
peer-to-peer conversation. Yeah,
So
quite amazing.
how did you become involved with the 957 project?
I happened to meet John, who's one of the co-founders of the organization, at one of the anniversaries at the memorial.
Oh,
And I meet many people, and he happened to remember me a bit more than I remembered him that brief time we met. And he just kind of invited me to this leadership, challenge retreat. He felt that Diora's story would make a difference for these students and would show to them, the value of a community service project.
mm-hmm. Do you remember the first leadership challenge you went to, what it was like?
I do. I was so nervous. I, I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. And the last thing I wanted to be was this preachy mother.
Right.
And I was so nervous. I for the first year, I really felt like I wasn't making a bit of difference. So the second year, I said, what was I thinking? I have things that Diora has written herself about her life, the value of community service. It's all right here, in her writing. I'm just going to speak from that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be, her mouthpiece to her peers. And years 2, 3, and this is my 4th year, are much easier.
Yeah.
And I hope it's what these students want. Yeah, they seem to have a good time, and I had the opportunity to mentor some last year, so I do know some of the projects that they took on. And,
yeah. Well, and I've seen it. They just soak it up. They absolutely just soak it up. And what do you find is the thing that your daughter wrote that has the most impact on them?
What might have the most impact is my daughter's relationship with her family and friends. And it started at an early age for Diora. She really enjoyed looking at the family relationships. Oh, you're my mother, you're my father, us my sister. Oh, you're my aunt. That means you're my mother's sister. So she really, really got into that to the point where it was important to her to go visit family every summer. So she started flying as an unaccompanied minor at the age of 4 and would go from Southern California to North Carolina to be with her grandparents.
Wow.
So that relationship, she had a whole world available to her, thousands of miles away from me, year after year, summer after summer, where she really developed a relationship that way with her family. And her friends, she was always there for them. She had the confidence and the love and some ability to really be outside of herself and be out there for her friends and be able to cope with all of the struggles of friendship in high school and grade school, into the university. And it just became who she was. And a lot of that gets revealed in what I'm able to share with the students at the retreat.
Well, I know here at the retreat, there's a huge emphasis on family. And we see it all the time. The warriors come with their family, and it's the family serves alongside the soldier, but it's the family that is what they lean on and what the backbone is. And it's great to hear that she really cherished that, probably from an early age. It was a trooper for getting on that plane and going by herself. That's crazy.
Can you believe it? I think most important thing about family, it's your longest relationships, with some of your family members.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that unspoken love that's always there. Uh, I know there's a lot of families out there that have their troubles and, dysfunctionality, whatever label you may want to give them. And I have this belief, and I've just witnessed it so many times, when it all boils down, it really is down deep, if just for a brief moment, they all admit to themselves and to others that they really, really do have love there.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are put under the test, I think it's the love that gets them through.
Right. Wow. Where was Diora going on 9/11?
Diora was entering her junior year at Santa Clara University in Santa Clara, California, but she wanted to go back east to be with some of her close girlfriends that she had had all through grade school, high school,
Wow.
and she wanted to just get together with them. So she flew out from San Francisco to New Jersey, went up into New York City and visited a girlfriend of hers there, and then went back to New Jersey and stayed with a girlfriend who was attending Farley Dickinson.
Mm.
And her other girlfriend in New York was starting her junior year at Harvard. So they got together, and on September the 11th, Diora was flying home. Her girlfriend had her first class that day, so Diora said, "Drop me off at the airport early. You get to your class early, on time. Don't miss your class." And Diora was a standby passenger on United Flight 93.
Whew. Wow.
And along with about 50% of those people on board were standby passengers. Diora was the youngest female passenger at 20,
Mm-hmm.
and the youngest male passenger is Toshio Kuge from Japan. He was heading home after summer vacation
Wow.
here in the States. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about what it took to get the Flight 93 memorial going. I know you were instrumental in that.
The Flight 93 Memorial, what an amazing project to be on. President Bush signed a Memorial Act for Flight 93, which put it under the Department of the Interior. So it's a national park.
Right.
A lot of planning. We formed the families of Flight 93. We were family members of anyone who had passed away on that plane. We worked with the Park Service and the National Park Foundation, so it was a partnership. And it's such I could talk for hours on the show about all of what we went through. We had a design competition. We had an advisory commission and a task force because we had reporting to do to the federal government and the Department of Interior on how we were progressing.
Mm-hmm.
And as a comparison, when Flight 93 went to bid for contracts to start the building of the memorial, which was around 2007, when we dedicated the first phase of the park in 2011 at the 10th anniversary, the Martin Luther King Memorial had gone to bid at the same time. So Flight 93, when it was complete in 2018 to the design, so we started in 2002 at the Memorial Act, and in 2018 the memorial was complete.
And was it privately funded or federally funded?
Federally funded. There was, wow, now you're testing my memory. There was $20 million in the Memorial Act. State of Pennsylvania raised $20 million.
Oh, wow.
And then the rest was private funding, around 30-something million. I think the original cost of the memorial that the Park Service put it at was around $53 million. That was the initial figure.
That had to have doubled.
Yes, but in the eyes of the government, that doesn't change, you know. And if it does change, then that means more private money and not more federal money. But I mean, that That's part of the education that I received.
Yeah.
It was a bipartisan project. It was, it had its difficulties, but it was easy to talk about
Mm,
at a federal level. It was easy to share about it at a state level.
right.
And it was always something we just had to have the right ask
Yeah.
when you go talk to the government. You just
Wow.
have to know what to ask for, when to ask for it. And of course, we were fortunate to have people who made sure we knew when to ask,
Yeah.
what to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes special. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the 25th anniversary. What, I'm sure you'll be there for that, of
Yeah,
course.
well, yes.
Yeah. What is that going to look like?
Well, for the 25th anniversary, I know the Park Service, or at least a superintendent there at United Flight 93, wanted to really make it special for the families.
Mm.
The families have opened our arms and our hearts to so many visitors at all the anniversaries.
Mm.
It's difficult to have time to oneself
Right.
on that day.
Sure.
So this year, the superintendent has given this opportunity for both the families and the public to have an opportunity to participate in the 25th anniversary. So our not typical, but what we've been doing traditionally over the years is a morning service so that we can read the names and ring the bells at the time of the crash.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll still have that one in the morning. And this year we're going to have one in the afternoon, which makes it possible for more visitors to attend.
Sure. Sure.
When we have the service in the morning, sometimes we have these dignitaries come in and we have to shut the park down for security.
Mm.
Now we're asking the dignitaries to come at the 1 o'clock so the park can stay open longer for people to be able to come and participate in the anniversary.
Wow. Wow. Well, I know too that tomorrow you're going to take the students up there, which is always a big deal each year for the students. I get to talk to them on Friday when they come back, and they're all, well, first of all, it's an amazing memorial. If you haven't been there, listeners, you need to go and you need to see it. It's very interesting because just the design and the way it is on the flight path of the plane that it took. It's that long kind of walk runway with the square looking out, and then the kind of museum and everything is off to the left, and then you can go out and you can see the actual crash site, which is not open to the public, only to family. But it is also, it's the same with the 9/11 memorial in New York City. This is an incident that took place in a fairly digital age. So there was a lot of communications around the event, which you can listen to the recordings and the phone calls and the voicemails that people aboard the various flights left for loved ones. That's part of the museum as well. But I encourage everybody. It's out in the middle of nowhere. I'll be honest with you, but it's worth the trip. It really is worth the trip to see it. It's very memorable. It's very moving, for sure. Next year is going to be a very special event, and the kids, they just have such a great time when they go up there. When I think about kind of wrapping things up, what's the most important thing that you want listeners to know about Dior?
The most important thing I want listeners to know about Diora is she demonstrated the opportunity for people to make a difference.
Yeah.
That was something that was very important to her, back in 2001. Since then, I've just taken up the torch for that. The opportunity for people to make a difference is, it improves the quality of other people's lives. It brings such value to oneself. It's definitely needed, wanted. It helps in keeping a legacy alive.
Yeah.
It's something that you'll never know the impact you'll have on people who know people who know people who know people. It's an amazing ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
And for you listeners, the opportunity to make a difference in the quality of someone's life, it's beyond words for me. It's just a beautiful way to demonstrate who you are as a person for others.
Mm-hmm. Be kind. Be kind to people, and they will be kind to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great way to go through life for sure.
Just like how it shows up in your cooking, Chef Larry. All the love and the difference that you make in that area.
Well,
let's not shy away from that.
I'm pretty fortunate to be able to help out like that. That's great.
Thank you so much.
Well, listen, yeah, thank you. I can't thank you enough for coming on and joining us today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Listeners, we'll have another episode next Monday morning at 0500. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms. We're on YouTube and Wreaths Across America Radio. So until then, thanks for listening.
The Welcome Home podcast is brought to you by Willing Warriors, a nonprofit organization serving active duty service members and veterans since 2012. To learn more, please visit our webpage at willingwarriors.org.